All right, Shalom. This is your brother Iwanathan. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakwadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. I want to say Shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. Okay, may the blessing of election be upon your house. Today, I want to talk to you guys, and this is a milk lesson for those who have been listening and learning for a while. But there's always new people coming in, and these topics are very vital to their spiritual growth. So today we're going to talk about regeneration, or in the world they say reincarnation, right? Back, carnation, carnal, back in the flesh. Okay, so when you understand this topic, it's really vital when it comes to grasping the fullness of the scriptures, especially prophecy, and having the understanding that death is not final, nor is it losing. All right. Knowing this, it endows us with the courage and the boldness the Lord is going to require for us to fulfill our mission, even if it's under the threat of death, which eventually it will be pursuant to the scriptures. An example we can get of that is Second Maccabees 7:23. Let me go there really quick for you all. And this is when the mother and her sons were being put to death by the Greeks. And I want you to realize this train of thought is all throughout the volume of the book. Okay, so the Second Maccabees 7. Okay, all the sons as they're being tortured and killed, they give a speech to the Romans. Talking about, well, let's actually just read it. Second Maccabees 7:21. I'll start here. Actually, no. Let's start at 18. Second Maccabees 7:18. After him also, they brought the sixth, who being ready to die said, "Be not deceived without cause. For we must suffer these things for ourselves, having sinned against our God. Therefore marvelous things are done unto us. But think not that takest in thine hand to strive against God, that thou shalt escape unpunished." So he's speaking to the Greeks. Like, don't think because you're being allowed to do what you're doing to us, that you're not going to reap what you sow. Verse 20. But the mother was marvelous above all, and worthy of honorable memory. For when she saw her seven sons slain within the space of one day, she bare it with good courage. All right. And she was endowed with that courage, and you're about to see why, because she had a particular understanding in mind. She bare it with good courage because of hope that she had in the Lord. Yeah, she exhorted every one of them in her own language, filled with courageous spirits, and stirring up her womanish thoughts with a manly stomach. She said unto them, I cannot tell how ye came into my womb, for I neither gave you breath nor life, neither was it I that formed the members of every one of you, but doubtless the creator of the world, who formed the generation, okay, of man, and found out the beginning of all things, will also of his own mercy give you breath and life again. Breath and life again, as ye now regard not your own selves for his law's sake. Okay, now let's go get some of the basic, just straight on the nose reincarnation scriptures. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 1:9, of course, because this pretty much flat out tells you, if you don't get it from here, then you're just not going to get it. All right, it's Ecclesiastes 1:9. It says, the thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. Now, if there's no new thing under the sun, are you new? And then let's go back to the top of that verse and check this out. It says, the thing that hath been is that which shall be. Now let's go to Ecclesiastes 6:10, same book. And it's going to tell you what the thing that hath been is. Okay, this is Ecclesiastes 6:10. The thing which hath been is named already, and it is known that it is man. All right, it is known that it is man. Now we go back. Now let's read it one more time. Ecclesiastes 1 and 9, we just left off Ecclesiastes 6 and 10. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be. So we know what the thing that hath been is, right? We just read it. The thing that hath been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. So what you have is the same spirits coming back in different bodies, doing the same thing they did in past lives. Okay? That's why Yahweh Shah said to those Israelites during his day, fill ye up then the measure of your fathers, because they were persecuting the prophets before. Okay? Verse 10, it's Ecclesiastes 1 and 10. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It hath been already of old time, which was before us. Verse 11, there is no remembrance of former things. So you're not just walking the pew. We're not just walking around here remembering our past lives. You might get deja vu every now and then, but you're not remembering your past lives. The Lord it's a scripture. I gotta go find it. Where the Lord is going to give us in our new bodies in the kingdom, memories of the things that we did here on this side. But right now in these bodies, no. Think about that, man. You walking around with the memories of you being in cattle slavery when we first got over here in the Americas. The trauma and PTSD, you wouldn't be able to function properly. Okay? There's a show about that, actually, if you want to check it out. It's called, God, what is it's on HBO. I slip in my mind. Yeah, but it's a show about they built these very human-like robots in a park where people could go interact with them. But the people, there's a bunch of Edomites there, so they're raping and killing the robots and everything. But they wipe the robots' memories every day, so they don't have all that trauma. But then one day, they actually do start getting those memories, and they just can't function. So they start doing a bunch of crazy stuff. All right, there's a little tangent. Dang, I wish I could remember that show. It's right on the tip of my tongue. Westworld. The show is called Westworld. Okay, if you want to watch it. Okay, so Ecclesiastes 1:11 again. There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. Okay, so now we read that. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 12 and 7 really quick. Bear with me while I get there. Ecclesiastes 12 and 7. Okay, it reads. So when death happens, what happens to the spirit that was in that body? This is why I want to get this precept. Ecclesiastes 12 and 7. Then shall the dust, all right, your body, return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return to God who gave it. So, because question comes up, man, when you talk about reincarnation, you've been taught your whole life, if you're coming out of the church or just in the world, that when people die, they go to heaven or hell. All spirits go into one place. The spirit goes back unto the Father, and they live their judgment out on the earth. Heaven and hell are living conditions, which is why when Jonah was in the belly of that fish, he referred to it as hell. He was in a horrific living condition. You understand? So now let's go to Ecclesiastes 3 and 16. And this will give you more insight into what I just touched on. All right, let's start at 15. It says, that which has been is now, and that which is to be hath already been. More reference to what we read in the first chapter. And God requireth that which is past. So things that someone might have done in a past life, they'll live it out here in this life. They'll live out the judgment for that thing in her life. So that answers the question a lot of times when you ask yourself, damn, why was this person born blind? There's actually a reference to that in the scriptures, and we'll get it after this in John the 9th chapter. People, they understood, like, okay, this person must be born like this because of something they've done before. This was the train of thought, and this was the understanding that we've had. But that whole hell doctrine came along with the Catholic Church, which has nothing to do with the scriptures. Okay? The lake of fire that burns, that's Babylon the Great. It's going to burn forever in memory as an example unto those that should after live ungodly. The same way Sodom burns forever in memory in the minds of the people. It's not still over there burning today, but that judgment that took place forever in memory burns in the minds of all the people. Even those who don't know about the scriptures, they've heard the story of Sodom and Gomorrah and why it was punished, right? Ecclesiastes 3:15, that which hath been is now, and that which is to be hath already been. And God requireth that which is past. I just broke that down. Verse 16, and moreover I saw under the sun, what's under the sun? The earth. Okay. And moreover I saw under the sun the place of judgment that, okay, so right there, it's telling you under the sun is the earth. And also that it is the place of judgment, where judgments for people's actions take place. It's on the earth. I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness. So it's simultaneously both the place of wickedness and righteousness, where both of these things take place. And the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. Okay? So heaven and hell are living conditions, and those conditions play out here on the earth. You understand? Now, I did mention the example of, oh, that's why this person was born that way. There's a literal example of that in John, the 9th chapter. So let's go there at the top. Because people have this thing where they just think, oh, if there was a God, why would he allow kids to be born like this? And why would he allow people to... Death isn't anything to the Lord. He doesn't get squeamish about millions of people. It's not final. It's just a punishment. It's just it's a consequence of going against the law and order that he set in his house. When you're in your father's house, you follow your father's rules. If not, what happens? See, death has been made such a big deal here on this side, because the man of death is in rulership. People worship it. When you... Part of worship or reverence for something is having fear. That's why the Lord tells you to fear him. Because when you fear someone, all right, you respect their boundaries. Okay. But this man that's ruling now has made death this thing where, like, oh, well, where the understanding of it is kind of murky. So people just... And he pushes that vibration to just be like, well, everybody's gonna die one day, so you might as well just live your life while you can and do what makes you feel good and makes you happy. But no, the things you do, you're gonna have to pay for them, and it's not gonna be in a place where you burn forever. You're gonna be back here, and you're gonna reap what you sowed. Okay. Look at us as a nation for our disobedience. We were the people that... we were like the Lord's wife, and we stepped out on the Lord by worshiping other gods, and look with the condition that we're in. So there's a remnant of us who's trying to get back in the house. And when a woman's trying to get back in good graces with her man, she comes very meek, of a broken and contrite spirit, to try to get back in good graces. Is he not her covering? Does he not provide provision, problem solving, procreation? He does all this. Procreation for us spiritually would be the growth. Okay. We're going to be given new bodies. And here on this side, the understanding we've been given through the Spirit has allowed us to navigate life in a much more smooth and precise and certain way. Okay, so the Lord gives us all those things, and we're trying to get back in good graces with the husband. Now, he references us as being his wife. You can go to chapters like Jeremiah 3:1, and jump down 14. Okay, but here in John 9, the example of, oh, why was that person born this way? Here's your answer. Okay, John 9:1, it says, and there's Yahweh Shai, and it says Jesus here in the English, but we know there's no J in the Hebrew. All right, the letter J was invented about 450 years ago. Okay, so that's not his name, and the name is important to know. You're gonna have to call on that name, on the true names, when we're in trouble. The scriptures tell us the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is saved. So anybody who's making of none importance the name, the Spirit isn't with them. And we do have the names here on this side. How else are you going to be able to call on them? Okay. He has titles. Okay. You have people that will say, well, the Lord has many names. No, those are titles, like a rank. Like, a sergeant in the military, he may have many titles, but he has an actual name that his loved ones and family calls him. Okay? And we want to be his loved ones. We want to be a part of his family. We want to be his friends. And his friends, as the scriptures say, they're going to know his name. Okay? John 9:1. And as Yahushua passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth. Keep this in mind. This man here that he's coming across was blind from his birth. He was born that way. Verse 2, his disciples are with him, right? And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin, this man or his parents? Now, ask yourself this question. If he was born blind, what sin could he do as a fetus? Why are the disciples asking him this? If they're not of the understanding, this man must have did something in a past life, that this is his living condition now, that this is his hell now. John 9:2 again. And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin? This man, he was born blind in verse 1, or his parents, that he was born blind? Verse 3, Yahushua answered, Neither. So in this particular case, neither did his parents sin that the judgment fell upon him, or did he sin in a prior life that this judgment fell upon him. This particular man was made blind in the flow of things, so that it could be proven that Yahushua was in actuality the Son of God. So this man was made blind for a purpose up until this stage in his life, so that the Son of God could come by and heal him, and it being tangible proof to the witnesses that, oh, this man is exactly who he says he is. All right, verse 3, John 9:3. Yahushua answered, Neither hath this man sinned, nor his parents, but that the works of God should be made manifest in him. I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work. So that also allows you to get a little insight into how the Lord works. Sometimes the Lord will put things on people, or and this was a grown man. So he went his whole life being blind, and that whole life that he experienced of being blind and things he went through and people he had to interact with, dealing with how people treated him, it was all for this moment right here. This was his purpose in that lifetime, was to be healed by Yahushua. See, the Lord is far out, man. This is and that's a low level example of how far the Lord could be. So I'm gonna run off a couple of precepts here. Then I'm gonna touch on some points about how, if you don't understand regeneration, reincarnation, right? You can be confounded by a lot of points that people will bring up, but there's brought out a bunch already. Easy scriptures to cut it. There's a scoffer that always comes on my page when I mention the curses. Actually, let me just read a couple of these first, and then I'll get into that point. All right. This is Job 19:26. It says, And though after my skin worms destroy this body. Actually, let me just start at 25. For I know that my Redeemer liveth, and that he shall stand at the latter day upon the earth. And though after my skin worms destroy this body, yet in my flesh shall I see God. So Job had that understanding as well. And then Job 14:14, it says, if a man die, shall he live again? All the days of my appointed time will I wait till my change come, and we're all going to be changed. Okay. Now, I want to go to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, because there's a scoff that comes on my page whenever I mention the curses. And he brings up this point here, and it's only because he doesn't comprehend regeneration. So it holds him back from getting the fullness of what's being said. So let's get it. All right. So this is Deuteronomy 28:36. It says, The Lord shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, Okay, now what he'll key in on here in verse 36 is that uh, bring thee and thy king. So he's saying when we were taken over here to the Americas, who was the king in Israel at that point in time? There weren't any kings. The last king in Israel was so and so. But what he doesn't get is that all of all of the kings of Israel were taken into slavery. Now it did happen here in the Babylonian and Assyrian captivities. All the kings in Israel and Judah were taken captives at that point in time. But even again, when we fled into the interiors of Africa, um, the northern kingdom that were over here in the Americas, all of the royal, now we're all royal bloodlines, but the royal families within our nation that had kings that were ruling, um, they all were taken into bondage. The scriptures isn't just confined to one point, a fixed point in history. Often the time, it'll be speaking about the time that was going on, but also something in the far future. And here, the curses are going to be upon Israel until the kingdom of heaven is established. So this took place back then, but it also took place more recently with the transatlantic slave trade. Now, you got to ask yourself, when are these curses lifted? And are these curses confined to one event? No. So it's, he doesn't get regeneration or reincarnation. And when you go to Deuteronomy 22, I mean, not Deuteronomy 22, when you go to Revelation 22 and 3, it lets you know the curses aren't going to be lifted until the establishment of the kingdom of heaven. All right, Revelation 22 and 3 says, and there shall be no more curse. Okay, and above that, in the first two verses, is talking about Yahweh, you know, sitting on the throne, the government being structured properly, life and healing of the nations. The healing of the nations takes place in the kingdom of heaven. All right, and in verse 3, it tells you there shall be no more curse of the throne. So the curses are lifted upon us being changed, upon the Lord return. Um, so the curses are still upon the nation of Israel today. Then you got to ask yourself, okay, well, the people who are claiming to be this nation, do they still fit these curses? Well, if they don't, there you go. It's pretty much plain. If they don't, then how could they be the people? You understand? So people they try to throw you those curveballs, but it's really easy if you understand simple topics like regeneration. Now let's go get some more precepts here just to back up the prophets and everybody in the scriptures pretty much had this understanding. Let's go to Daniel 12 and 13. Let's go there. Bear with me while I pull it up. All right, this is Daniel 12 and 4, and then he kind of reiterates it at the bottom of the chapter. But actually, let's just start at the top of Daniel here. Daniel 12 and 1. It says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which stands for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, Shalakia, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as was never since there was a nation, even to that same time. Now, this time is talking about Jacob's trouble, which we're coming up upon. Our apostle, he even deemed this year the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble coming to pass, because this time does have to come before the kingdom of heaven is established. So, we're going to go through straits. The people in the world are going to go through straits, but we've been given a playbook on how to endure through it. Okay. And if we be, sincere, the Lord will be with us through that time. Okay. So bring on the whooping. Let's get it over with. Um, Such as was never since the beginning. There was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book of life. Verse 2, and many of them that fall, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake. All right, the dead in Yahushua shall be raised up first, right? Okay. And the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. Okay, so there's gonna be a lot of Israelites that were wicked when they come back. Um, they gonna know how wicked they were being, and it's gonna be a shame unto them. Verse 3, and they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. And you could use this to back up who the what the stars represent in Revelation 12 if you want. This is one of those precepts. Obviously, you would go all the way back to Genesis with Joseph. Yeah, the stars bowing to him, but this is one you could use as well. Verse 4, but thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book even to the time of the end. Now, this is the point I want to hear in verse 4. Daniel 12:4. But thou, O Daniel, this is what the Lord is saying to Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book even to the time of the end. The book is the scriptures, meaning to seal the understanding of the scriptures. Now, even to Jeremiah in Jeremiah 17:4, it was told to him that even he would be discontinued from his heritage because of disobedience of the people, disobedience to the nation, that it would be a time period where he was discontinued from his heritage, meaning the understanding of the Lord and the way we're supposed to keep. So the Daniel here is pretty much the same thing as being said. Daniel 12:4, but thou, Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. So the fact that that time period where we discontinue from our heritage, that took place. Now we're coming back to a time where knowledge is being increased once more to who we are, what's taking place in the world, what's getting ready to take place in the world, how it ends, how we're supposed to conduct ourselves as all of it is happening. This is basically letting you know we're in that time, the time of the end, man. We're in the last days of the last days because the last days started once Yahweh Shai, he made that sacrifice. He walked that carnation as Yahweh Shai without sin, making him eligible to be that ultimate sacrifice. So now we don't have any more sacrificial law. That was the beginning of the last days. But now, we're at the end of the last days. Okay, a couple more prophecies that have to take place before this devil was taken down and the earth is refreshed. Let's jump down here in Daniel 12-13 because it says it again. Verse 13, it says, but go thy way till the end be, for thou shalt rest and stand in thy lot at the end of days. So he's telling Daniel, even though Daniel died, he's telling Daniel that at the end of days, he's going to be back standing in his lot prophesying. The same way he told John the Revelator that he would be in his lot once more prophesying. So you put all these precepts together, man, it becomes clear about how life and death actually works. And it really should give you courage to walk in an upright fashion and to not fear, man. You're supposed to fear the Most High, like the scriptures say. So let's actually get that precept in Matthew 10:28. It says, and fear not them which kill the body, okay, but are not able to kill the soul. They don't have dominion over your spirit, okay? They can't do anything to your spirit. That's the Lord's jurisdiction. Even your flesh, that's the Lord's jurisdiction. The scriptures say in Proverbs 20:24, man's goings are of the Lord. Anything that happens on the earth, the Lord had to okay it first. So knowing that, that too gives you confidence. Knowing about, free will, so to speak. That's a good topic for people to understand when they come in. Matthew 10:28 again from the top. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell, which we know now that hell is a living condition. Okay, so I could really just keep going. We could really keep going. We can get examples of Yahweh Shai um, being asked directly about who he was in past lives. The scriptures even stating who he was in past lives, and him never dispelling that train of thought. Never saying, "Oh no, no, it doesn't work that way." Matter of fact, let's just get a couple. Might as well make the video as well rounded as possible. Just a quick start off. Just go to Matthew 1:1, right? It says the book of the generation of Yahweh Shai, Amashiach, the son of David, because the same spirit that was in Solomon was in Yahweh Shai, same person. The book of the generation of Yahweh Shai, the son of David, the son of Abraham. He also was Isaac. So we come back into the earth every third and fourth generation, like the scriptures say. Let you know that in the Torah. Exodus 20 and 25, it says, thou shalt not bow down thyself to them nor serve them, for I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity. Check this out. Iniquity is sin upon sin. So the things that people do, they're gonna pay out on it. When though? Visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. And it's like, oh, why is he doing? Because those are the same spirits coming back within the line of their fathers. Now, to those who are coming and watching this, um, the way that the scriptures do lineage is much different than how the world does lineage. In the world, they say you're half of what your mother is, and you're half of what your father is. Now, that may be true in the flesh. Your body literally takes on features from your mother and your father, but the spirit that's in you is connected to the seed of your father. That's why in ancient times it was always important for a man to have a son. Now, to make it more rudimentary, if I had a handful of orange seeds and I planted some here in Texas, I'm in the Dallas camp, um, and I planted some in New York, China, Russia, France. I planted orange seeds in all these different lands, and the woman represents the land, right? The seed that I planted in all those different lands, what tree is going to grow and what fruit is it going to bring forth? Regardless of the land, it's going to bring forth oranges and orange trees, right? So the Lord deals with spirits. He puts the same spirit through that line of the Father. So in the flesh, eventually you're going to have Israelites who may not necessarily look like Israelites. It's about the spirit that's in a person. Because a prime example, you look at Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin's dad is a very dark, almost that purple dark. Okay. Blake Griffin is a high yellow guy. His mother is an Edomite, or seems to be one, right? And then he had a son with a white woman. And now that son looks completely like a just straight up white kid. But the spirit going all the way back to Blake Griffin's father, that Haitian man, that dark purple Haitian man, that grandson, even though he looks like a so-called white man, he's still an Israelite from the tribe of Levi. So it's just like, you can't be so carnal when you come into this thing. And a lot of people, they see the Hebrew Israelites and they take it at face value, because we have to use those common terms like so-called black man, the so-called white man, the so-called Chinese. We have to use those relative terms so people know who we're talking about when they're passing by. Because if we just say, oh, Edomite this and the Moabites that, people will walk by not knowing what the hell we're talking about. So we have to use those elementary terms so people understand what we're going into. Okay? So to those who are new, Albaratazah, that little quick insert there gave you even more clarification on how life and death works. So you come back through the line of your fathers. That's why that question is always asked. But at the end of the day, the more surefire way to discern a spirit is if they comprehend this truth, because the scriptures say that none of the wicked shall understand. Okay, the only people that are going to get these concepts that we're bringing out and fully walk in them and apply it to their life believe. Um, the Lord set it up to where, regardless of how intellectually uh, bright someone may be, they're not going to get this understanding unless the Lord has imparted it to them. Okay, so this isn't about your intellectual capacity. It's more so about, did the Lord give you that gift to see? Okay, so Daniel 12:10, it says, many shall be purified and made white and tried, all right, made blameless. But the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. Okay, so that's the more surefire way. You can't just look at people and really know what they are. All right. But if their spirit resonates with this word, then hey, it's a great possibility. And they start to walk in it, it's a great possibility that they might be an Israelite. Okay. You can go to Romans 8:16. It says the spirit itself, the word of God, the spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. So you don't need a DNA test or a genealogy test. Okay, that's not how it's going to be done. We've been scattered into every nation under heaven. The records have not been kept track of. This devil has completely destroyed history, so we can't trace. You know, it's not going to be done that way. This is a thing of faith. This is a thing of spirit. This isn't something that he can attack with his weapons, with his sword. This is something that's not tangible to our enemies, which is why it is so dangerous to their establishment. Okay, now more examples of Yahweh Shai um, not dispelling this train of thought when it comes to life and death. Let's get a couple and then I'll close this up. Matthew 11 and I started let's start at verse 9, Matthew 11 and 9. Okay, it says, but what went ye out for to see? A prophet? Yeah, I say unto you, and more than a prophet. For this is he of whom it is written, behold, I send my messenger before thy face, which shall prepare thy way before thee. Now, they were talking about, now you jump up to verse 7 here, it says, and as they departed, Yahweh began to say unto the multitudes concerning John the Baptist, that went ye out into the wilderness to see. Okay, so they went out to see John the Baptist, and this is what he says about John the Baptist. This is what Yahweh is saying. It says, but what went ye out for to see? A prophet? Yeah, I say unto you, and more than a prophet. For this is he of whom it is written, behold, I send my messenger before the face, which shall prepare thy way before thee. Now he's referencing, let's go actually just go get what Yahweh is referencing here. It's, Malachi 4 and 5. It says, behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great dreadful day of the Lord. Elijah died. Salakia. Elijah did not die, I believe. Salakia. Elijah was taken up by a chariot, which is a whole nother topic for you. The chariots of the Most High, which, the people call in the world, they call them UFOs. But who else was taken up? Enoch was taken up in the same fashion, which, kind of gives you a hint to, hey, those might be the same spirits that was taken up in the same way. But let's go back to it. What Yahweh was referencing was Malachi 4 and 5. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse. So in our time, when that spirit came back, that was Abba Bivens. That's who, basically made straight the way for all the camps you see and all the people that believe that you see. Um, he was that catalyst that was used to bring many back to the fold. to the understanding of who they were and their heritage. Okay. So now let's go back to Matthew 11 and 10. It says, "For this is he whom it is written, Behold, I send my messenger before thy face, which shall prepare the way before thee. Verily I say unto you, among them which are born of women, there have not risen a greater than John the Baptist. Notwithstanding, he that is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he," because we're going to be changed. Okay. We're all going to be perfect. "And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence," the nation of Israel, "and the violent take it by force. The violent man, which would be the man whose blessing was the sword, which would be Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. For all the prophets and the law prophesied until John. And if you will receive it," check this out, this is the point. "And if you will receive it, this is Elias, which was for to come. He that hath ears to hear, let him hear." So if you can comprehend what he's alluding to, understand what he's saying. Okay. And there's more examples, man. But I'm just gonna end it there. I hope Barat's I was edifying and you comprehended what was being brought out. So with that being said, I want to give our praises once more to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And I want to say shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. May the blessing of election be upon your house. Shalom.